What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another Teen Mom 2 recap. This time we're looking at season 9, episode 17. And so Jeremy gets some opening credits this time around. He is going out for pizza with a friend of his, and he reveals that Addie feels like he up and abandoned Leah and the entire family. I personally feel like Addie is probably just putting the blame on Jeremy because Jeremy is the one who goes away for work, and so she kind of figures that way that that's the reason that the marriage broke apart. Little does she know that Leah is the one who was a huge factor in the divorce. Remember, at this time she was allegedly battling a drug addiction, and she was also spending like a lot of money, to the point where the two of them, with a combined income of God knows how much, were like almost going broke. And then she also cheated on Jeremy with Robbie as well. Like, it's so funny how little Addie knows. And of course she shouldn't know all that much. It's just gotta be hard as the dad who went through all of that with a mom, and you're still the one getting all the blame for the divorce. Jeremy ultimately wraps up the scene by saying that he suspects that Leah might talk about the relationship either to or around Addie a little bit too much, and that's why she is so obsessed with their dynamic. Next, we head on down to Florida, where Briana's boyfriend John is visiting for a little bit. He's enjoying the rest of his birthday festivities down south with her, and like, he just does not look interested in her at all. It's a little bit funny because the way that Briana used to look at Javi and treat Javi is basically the same way that John treats her. Like, he just does not seem engaged whatsoever within this relationship. So they go out to this lunch spot, and she literally just hammers him with like complaint after complaint about her baby daddies. He does not look like the least bit sympathetic, engaged, nothing with this conversation. And Briana, he just stares straight out the window, hoping and praying that that like earlier flight he begged to be on standby for texts him and says that there is a spot available for his ass so he can get away from her. Before they head back to the airport to drop him off, Briana shows us just how much she's grown and learned from her really negligent reproductive choices by telling John that she hopes that he's not going to be a crappy dad one day, and ultimately says that it's going to take a baby for her to figure out whether or not he will be a crappy parent. I'm like, damn, Briana. That's embarrassing. Next up was a really epically bad Jenelle scene that actually is also taking place in Florida. Remember, last week we found out that David banned Jenelle from going to Kentucky to visit her friend Jamie, and for some reason, although she can't go to Kentucky alone, she is allowed to go to Florida alone. I don't know why that is, what the big difference is for him, but you know, ultimately she got her little permission slip signed, and here we are. So she lands in Florida with her much older friend that we've never seen before. I kind of feel like some of these friends lately are producer plants. Like, even that chick that Chelsea was in Denver with, I was like, who the hell is this? This does not look like an organic and real friendship. It seems like producer planted to me. The show had started airing on TV by this time, so Jenelle is quite upset about her mom, Barbara, expressing concern about her potentially being abused. She claims that Barbara's lying about it all, and she's upset that MTV won't let David film to get his side out. She actually considers David to be the ultimate victim in all of this, and compares him to R. Kelly in saying that the whole situation is being handled wrong. She's like, you know, imagine everyone in the world is talking bad about you and they don't give you a chance to get your side out. It's kind of like R. Kelly, where they're interviewing all those girls. Skirt, what? Like, R. Kelly was allegedly on tape peeing on a minor. R. Kelly also legitimately did marry a minor. There are other tapes outside of the P tape, allegedly, of R. Kelly, and then R. Kelly also was given an opportunity to clear his name. It was on Good Morning America with Gayle King, where he basically incriminated the hell out of himself with allegations that no one else even knew. He was like, I would never take all these girls, kidnap them, steal their shoes, and hog tie them so that they can't get away. I'd never do that. Literally, the whole world was like, what? No one's ever accused you of doing that, but thank you. That's gonna be a part of our new investigation. Next up, we're in Delaware, you guys, where Kail's longtime friend Mark comes over to her house so she could pretend to have been worried about like what 2, 3, 4, $5,000 in child support, breaking the bank so she could not build her little mansion. It is just a little bit laughable. One thing that really stuck out to me in this scene, I almost choked on my own tongue laughing, was that Kail said that a big factor in her choosing this particular lot was so that it would be halfway closer to Chris's house. Chris, the dude who does not pay her any damn mind, the dude who she has to text through his aunt. She is literally uprooting her kids from their school districts and moving them further away from their own very, very active dads to be closer to this guy who she was running around on a press tour calling a deadbeat for the longest time. Like, it's just so mind-boggling how thirsty this girl is. Kail seriously needs some real girlfriends to tell her that men don't value you until you can legitimately live your life without them. Like, don't be crawling around for no damn man, sis. It is not a good look. Meanwhile, in South Dakota, Aubrey's still too scared to sleep in her bed, so Chelsea suggests that she sleeps with her dirty ass pig for protection and potential skin infections. We then find out that Chelsea had a massive panic attack while out with Chelsea Grace, and she has to keep some heart rate monitors on her for a couple of days so that the doctors can know whether or not she has an actual heart condition. She basically spends this segment likening anxiety attacks to being crazy quite a bit, and I thought it was a little bit ignorant of her to do with such a large platform, because it's already hard enough for people who suffer from anxiety or panic attacks and stuff to speak openly about it and to look for help. So it can't help to have a public figure using these really antiquated terms to describe, what is a very valid illness. Though it's not like a knock on her. Like, at the end of the day, we're watching people's real lives and real thoughts, and I don't think it's fair to expect their thoughts to be perfect and politically correct. When her producer asked her if she would ever go to therapy for anxiety, she basically scoffs and says, hell no, she would rather take medication, even though she can't really take medication because she's breastfeeding. Again, that was a pretty disappointing answer, but it was a real answer, so what can you do? And by the way, I really wanted to mention in the last episode as well, but like it comes up again here. I worry a little bit about how open Chelsea is with being scared, in front of her daughter. Like with the whole break-in thing, her daughter is already like extremely scared, and then Chelsea ups the ante by being like, in front of her, like, I'm extremely scared. I don't even want to live here. I this, I that. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. And then now with this anxiety heart monitor thing, I personally don't think it's like a huge deal, like your life or death, but just the way that she was acting, like, oh, what if I have a serious heart condition and stuff in front of her daughter, is a bit much, like it's a bit much. I worry that her anxiety is going to transfer on to Aubrey with how open she is about being scared of like everything. Back in Florida again, Briana and Janelle go out for dinner and talk about their men. Jenelle tells Briana that she's lucky she has no baby mama drama to deal with because John doesn't have any babies quite yet. And then I feel like she's a little low-key shady with Briana when she's like, actually, John's kind of lucky too because no one really comes around. I was like, sis, I felt that, and I don't even have kids. The conversation then moves into the topic of Barbara and what she's been saying on TV. And so Jenelle reiterates what she said earlier, which is that she's upset with her mom for, voicing her concerns about her relationship on TV. And Jenelle goes hard in the paint defending David. She's like, he's the perfect guy. He's only upset that I have a job. Like, that's literally the only thing that we fight about. The fact that I have a job that supports her entire family while he sits around all day doing nothing. It's like, really, sis? He's perfect outside of that? Like, I don't know about that. And then Briana fans the flames by going, oh, like, I feel like it's so unfair to you that you can't film like in the comfort of your own home. Like, that is an MTV problem rather than a David problem. Remember, David would allegedly threaten these producers. He would go and physically ruin the shoots by coming on camera and wasting everybody's time. Like, it's a mess. Like, of course they cannot safely go and film in North Carolina with a legitimate, alleged psycho, lurking in the background. Jenelle, of course, agrees with Briana and says that David is just devastated and heartbroken that he is not, able to be shown doing regular dad things, right? Like, I don't know, feeding the chickens to the dog on the farm, dragging pigs by their hind legs, shooting dogs, starving Kaiser, and homeschooling Marissa about David Duke. It really is a tragedy that none of this plays on camera. We then get two really quick filler scenes. First is Devon going to Brianna's house to give Nova a little Chucky doll, and it gets Roxanne all hot and bothered. So she suggests that they all take family photos and include Zaddy Devon in them. And then Leah talks to Addie about her relationship with Jeremy, being friendly, and she tells Addie that they both love her even though they're not together. The separation isn't their fault and she is their first priority. And in the final scene of the episode, Chelsea and her family, like including her dad, stepmom, all of that, go out with Chelsea Grace as well for dinner, and they talk about her panic attack. I guess friends and family are therapists, but therapists are for crazy people. Maybe that's just how it works. Anyway, you guys, that wraps up what went down on Teen Mom 2 Season 9 Episode 17. But as usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say. So please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. You can also like this video, subscribe for more, feel free to share it with your friends as well, and follow me across social media where I absolutely love chatting with you. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.